Hello, good evening and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Hello, Butland and Rangers Radio. Joining us on the show tonight, we've got Old Bear and Robert. This is a build-up to the Scottish Cup final. Celtic versus Rangers at Hampden. How are you, boys?
Oh, fantastic. How are you two?
I'm good, mate.
I'm good, mate. Good to bomb yourselves and with the mature team tonight.
Oh, aye. The Wayne's in the night, Robert. Best behaviour tonight, Old Bear, the Wayne's in.
Oh, I know. I'll behave myself.
Well, boys, it's been a hard week for myself. In regards to, obviously the previous match, I've not spoke to any about it since I've been last on. The season obviously finished out with a bit of a whimper. What's your thoughts, All Bear, on the way the season sort of panned out for you?
Bad, good, bad. That's basically it, mate. It was a potential to win the league. We had the chance, not the potential, the chance to win the league, and we just threw it away. That's as simple as that. And we've got ourselves to blame. Nobody else but ourselves. I think the manager done a remarkable job getting us into the position that he did. But in the end up, too many things went against us, and it's just one of the big things went is we just ran out of steam. We ran out of steam, and we had too many injuries, and our form went. 3 things all happened at one time, which was pretty bad, mate. Pretty bad. But anyway, that's it.
Yeah, I think it happened at the wrong time as well, mate. I think obviously, I'm not going to. I think it's amazing what Philip Clement's done since he came in to get us back into the title, and he just speaking to the same sort of levels. We're back in it again, and we took him to 2 games, which I think's a decent feat in the first 6 months of his club. It was in my hands at once, but eventually, mate, if you agree, the injuries, the form, everything just seemed to catch up on us, mate. It just seemed to conspire against us. I'm not saying the league, I mean just life in general with injuries and the way people's just emotions, and this team again, a lot of people question their bottle and stuff again, so that I think everything just conspired against us, and it caught us, and they just seem to hit a bit of form at the right time. And this is where we need to get, the level we need to get to. We need to get to the same level where we need to learn how to see out titles, mate. Robert?
We do, mate. The form happened as soon as Clement came in, and as you said, the Nobles already touched on, it came, the bad form came at the wrong time, and it's where you can lose the title. Nothing was won when Clement first came in the door. As you said, we weren't even meant to be in a title race. People thought it was gone then, and for what he done, he got us in. So credit where credit's due, but as you said, injuries have hampered it. But for me, mate, as you said, it comes down to that experience of having a title race and being involved. And I think that's one thing that this squad at the moment doesn't have, is the experience of being league leaders and having a chase on and knowing how to deal with that pressure. And I think that's what took its toll near the end, as well as the injuries, mate.
Right, Albert, do you think that's one of the biggest factors? Is this team just not won enough? I heard the manager saying during the week this team's coming to the end of a cycle. Is that what he's talking to in regards to, this team doesn't know how to win enough?
Well, they know how to win. They win a cup. So you can't say they don't know. And some of them win a league and some of them win a Scottish Cup as well. So they know how to win. They just don't do it regular enough. It could be a mentality thing. It could be a bottle thing. It could be a lot of things. But at the end of the day, even if we win the title, the League Cup, the title, and then we go on to win the Scottish Cup, even if we done that, we still need a real shake up in the whole squad. That was always going to have to happen. Okay, it might have not been so severe, but you were saying the day about being severe. What does that mean? It's just a combination of things. But I think like your guys like Tavernier and all them, it's a shame because they've been consistent attenders. Let's say I wasn't going to say performers. They're always available for selection. Golson as well. for years, mate. Not for a season or two, for years. And it's a shame you don't want them to get to this end of their Rangers career and start being remembered for all the wrong things. I mean, they've never been my favourite players, but they have contributed years. And can't say they haven't contributed. So, from that point of view, I think they players are no bottlers, but they when it gets to the tricky side of it, they've no got the nous and the know-how, what to do, when to do it. So, the last 6 games of the split, which the split we hate, see the last 5 games, the last 5 games, that's when the pressure really gets put on. If you're still in contention, that's when the pressure gets put on. And teams lift their games. They really lift the work level. They really lift the effort. You can see it. You've seen it with the Dundee. You've seen it with Ross County just getting into the break. And then you've seen it with all the teams in the last 5 games. That's the bit we can't cope with. And Clement has actually recognised that he's seen it. And your leadership group really needs to step up then. That's when you really need them. 1-4-0 against Motherwell or Kilmarnock during the season is great, absolutely fantastic. But it's when the chips are down, the chips are really down, that's when your leadership group is worth its weight in gold, and they just failed miserably.
I have to agree with you, mate. That wee spell when we, for the Motherwell defeat, onwards Dundee and Ross County, I think that was the point where we just were about to go top of the league. I don't know, it just seemed to affect us, mate. It really did seem to affect us, the fact that we were about to go top, and not only that, we were going to go points clear, and it just seemed to affect the whole group. And as I said, I touched on it, injuries played a massive part, totally did. And I said they've just went on and do what they do and put another title over the line. But I'm going to park that, boys. I've spoken enough about that horrible time. And we look forward to this Scottish final. I believe it's, in my opinion, the sponsors have their dream final. It's but the biggest end to a domestic season and a chance for this team to compete a domestic double. And in the way the season started, for Beale right to now, and the way the league sort of transpired, I didn't even see us getting a final of Scottish Cup at the beginning of the season. All bear Robert, if I'm honest. So I'll give kudos where kudos is due for getting to the final. And it's a big one, Albert.
I mean, first of all, you need to get the final before you can compete in it. That's it. So you're right, they've done really well to get there. So we're there. And you're right about it's the sponsors' ideal. They're rubbing their hands, and so is the SFA. They're all rubbing their hands, because it seems to be that everybody that you talk to, even some Rangers fans, but mostly all the Rangers haters and all the SFA and stuff, everybody seems to think it's going to be a bit part played by Rangers here. We're just to turn up and take a doing and then hand the cup to their favourite team, and then we all get home and that's it, all happy and done. Well, no, I don't think it should be like that. I don't think we should be looking at the game like that, saying we're no bit part player for anybody. We're going here to compete in this cup final, mate. Whether you've got good players, bad players, and different players, it doesn't matter. We're here to compete in that cup final, and that's the way I'm looking at it. And I see what that phrase you says there. It's an ideal draw that sponsors are happy. You're right, mate. You're totally right. But we need to look at it for a different way. They're totally right. They're expecting us just to turn up and take a whipping. And no for me, mate. No for me. I know we've slagged the players. I know we think they don't. A lot of them are not good enough. But if you pull as a team, you can compete anywhere, mate. I don't care who you're playing against. You probably get the best team in the world, and if you all pull together, you can give anybody a game, and that's what I'm looking for this weekend. I'm not trying to jump ahead of ourselves, but I had to get it out before I forget it, mate.
Robert, big glamour. The best tie probably the SFA and the Scottish, football could have asked for. Been the first one in 20 plus years, mate, I believe.
It is, mate. 22 years, to be exact. We spoke about the 2002 Cup final on Tuesday, and we were talking about how back then a league double was seen as successful. And I think, as you've said, given the way the season started and where the squad was at, to potentially have 2 cups in the bag hoping obviously we win on Saturday. You wouldn't have imagined it. So again, you've got to take off the hat to Clement of what he's done with the same group of players. The addition of Diamonde, Cortez when he came, and Silva, they've added at times to the squad. They've not done it consistently. But for me, you're saying there it's a sponsor's dream tie. I think it's a cup final where we can right some wrongs, particularly this season. 4 league games and we've only got 1 point. Go and beat them in a cup final, bring home a trophy, and it's the last league game, last competitive game of a season. If you win that, the buzz that you carry over to the next season is massive. You don't want to be starting a season on the last game that you played was a defeat and it was a cup final to your rivals. So it's massive, mate. And I said on the show the other night, it's a game where it's potentially some of these players' last ever cup final they'll play in, and it might be the last time they ever put on a Rangers jersey. So go out and get their all and bring back a trophy, because it's just to go and win. They're no Barcelona. They're not a great side. We know that. We've matched them. We just need to go and have that cutting edge in the final third and bring it home. Simple. The fans deserve it.
I agree. I think in terms of, the size of the game, it doesn't get any bigger for me. An Old Firm domestic final game of the season, against arguably biggest rivals. It's and I do think it's got a hell of importance psychologically for the season so far, where we've taken 1 point off them. They've laid a few gloves on us, and we've not yet laid a glove on them. And psychologically going into the next season, as you said, Robert, I think that gives you a massive headache taking that forward. Philip Clement's going to change the squad big time, and a lot of them players probably won't be there to remember it. But as you said as well, I think in terms of some of the guys, last ever time they'll play a cup final for a medal, because they're not going to go to another team anywhere else. The ones that's leaving Rangers and playing a bigger league or a bigger club where they're going to domestically fighting out for medals. And as I said, as you said, Robert, in regards to pulling on that Rangers jersey as well, last chance saloon. But how great would it be to land one on them and psychologically bash them for getting to start the next season? So I think it's a hell of an important game in terms of the way we go forward as a team, with who's going to stay, and as a team with who's going to go. Albert?
He's exactly right. The man said that there's players going to be leaving, but it's not necessarily certain they're going to be leaving. This game on Saturday could win people contracts. He's basically saying that people show up and actually show what you've got in a big game. There's contracts there to be won. That's what he's telling them. I don't know if anyone will turn up and look at it that way, or the ones that are leaving, who are actually on, who are leaving, might just check out. You hope no. I would hope they wouldn't do that, but I don't think they will. I don't think there's certain players in the squad who'll let them do that. And I'm not talking about leadership groups here. I'm just talking about players who want to win. It's in their DNA. They just want to win. Boys like Sterling, Diamonde come across like that to me. Big Jack, Butland comes across like that to me. These people want to win. Winners in your team. You've already got some winners in your team. The young boys, they all look like winners to me. They're hungry. We McCausland, they're all hungry. They'll not want to lose a Scottish Cup final. They'll be pulling anybody up. They just pull their weight. Put it that way, mate.
Yeah.
It's there for them. It's been there for them all season. They came up short. Now there's a man off to sort it. You get a chance to sort it. Get there and show us what you've got.
I seen the manager's presser today, and we'll probably go to that in a minute. Do you think that's what he meant, Robert, when he says today, if any players have a special moments or show them something different? Has he thrown it down to the players that are maybe teetering on either leaving or going? Last chance saloon, go and show what you can do.
I think he has, mate, but it's also he's kind of swung it in to their terms of, do you want to be winners at this club? Because they've got a platform to go and do it. And I know we talk about players being somewhat selfish, thinking about themselves and not the club. See, if we've got 11 players in the park on Saturday who are selfish for a winners medal, the team wins, and that's what you need. Go and do it. And as you said, it's there for them. He's put it down. He's threw down the gauntlet of go and make a stake because nobody's safe for next season. Do you mean we might sit here and say Diamondi's obviously going to be a player, Sterling's a player, but if somebody comes in for any of them, your Jack Butlands, money talks, and to rebuild a squad the way we're talking about a big rebuild, you might have to cash in these players. So he's put it down to hunger, desire, and determination. And as soon as the players cross that white line on Saturday, it's theirs to go and do. Stand up, be counted.
I agree. This season, even the Europa League guys, this team, this has been the frustrating part for me all season. When we had them great results against Batiste, when the manager that just came in, I said that night we won that game. I was on the show the night we won that game, and I said, in terms of Batiste, we'll not play another team as good as them in the in your league, and that included Celtic. And that, by the way, and I said if we can match that performance in Batiste to any game in the Premier League, we will get ourselves back into the league title. And by the way, win every game and we'll go on and win it. That's the frustrating part for me. We know, Robert Albert, we know this squad is capable of making teams look pretty ordinary. I mean, they did with Batiste that night. With budgets who are astronomical compared to ours. We showed up. And it's not just against Batiste. We've done it time and time again years gone by with this same squad and big European matches. Big teams, Benfica as well. You know what I mean? So this is a frustrating part for me. I know what this team can give me. And this is the sort of performance that I want to see at the weekend in that final. Because if we get that, we'll not be far wrong. We will not be far wrong and get that result at the weekend. Albert?
That's right, mate. You're right. It's all about application, isn't it? It's all about the right attitude. I mean, the way that everybody's talking is that mob of world beaters. They're superb. They're great. They're this. They're that. Next thing, must be watching a different team from what I'm watching. I don't see that. Are they better than us? Well, of course they're better than us because they beat us in the league. That's a fact of life. You've got to face up to that and say, well, the best team always wins the league. Over the years, they don't admit that right enough. But anyway, it is true. I've not got a problem with that. But on a one-off game, no, I don't see much between the teams at all. And in fact, I would actually say we've got a lot more to prove, that not just because we're getting beat, but because in these games we do some crazy things, just crazy things. We've lost a lot of stupid goals, a lot of crazy goals that can be avoided. We've also lost a couple of good goals, isn't it? I'm not away from that either. But in general, it's madness with us, mate. So it's just total and utter madness with us. So if I can get that, can you sort all this out within a week? I doubt it. But what you can do is motivate them to give their all. Motivate them to actually turn up in the game. That's what you're looking for. Turn up, just turn up, and let's see what happens. Go toe to toe with them. Let's see what happens. Don't back down. That's all you're looking for, mate. It's a cup. It's a cup game. It's a cup game. It's a cup final. Anything can happen in cup games and cup finals. Anything, and that's been proved all over the world for the history of football. So let's go out and enjoy it. Let's just roll the sleeves up and just say, right, I'm here and I'm here to compete. That's what I'd be saying. No asking me rallying calls and big no surrenders and all that. Just turn up, compete, and let's see what we get with it.
Aye, exactly. Robert, what's your thoughts on the current squad in terms of we know what they're capable of in a one-half game against some of Europeans good sides.
It's the way European football is, mate. It's open, it's expansive, and our players seem to thrive on that. Especially, as you say, that night in Betis when they were trying to do us in the counter, we done it back to them, and it's where Dessers gets his goal from, and that's the quality that Dessers can bring. Do you know what I mean? You would never thought he was capable of doing that. So you'll miss him 2 yards, but you can do that, which is again a frustration for us because there's been so many times this season where he's had great opportunities to have more than 22, 23 23 goals a season. So it's just the way European football is. It's open, expansive, and there's more space when you're playing the league. It's that low block. Our players don't find the space, and one thing our squad just now is a kind of lack of creativity in the final third. We rely a lot on Cantwell to do his kind of magic in the 10 position, and he just doesn't get the time or the space, and there's nobody making runs in behind because there's no space again. So it's a different kettle of fish, European football and Scottish football. But if we can get a squad under Clement from next season that can adapt to both of them, then it'll be successful no matter what happens between injuries and everything else, as long as there's good squad quality and squad depth.
I believe you've got the team that night, Robert, that faced Batiste.
I do.
Yeah.
That night we lined up with Butland, Tavernier, Goldson, Davies, Borna Barisic, Lundstram, Cifuentes, Sima, Lammers, McCausland and Dessers. So if you look at that, mate, potentially 6 or 7 names there could be starting on Saturday. It's not a lot of change, so they can do it.
No, it's not. That's very attacking. You look at that team, isn't it? You know, you see Sima that night with Sima, Lammers, McCausland and Dessers on that sort of forward line. What do you think of that, Albert? Maybe 6 or 7 potential names could start that final on Saturday that beat Batiste that night, yeah?
Well, 2 of them have ran away. Cifuentes and Lammers have ran away right there. They've just buggered off, them two. Borner's about to leave, so is Lundstram. There's another 2. There's 4 of them right away, mate. Goldson's injured. There's 5 of them. It looks attacking team, but be honest, we're not getting that team or anywhere close to that team on the park. That's that. But I see what you're saying. As I say,
it's the 1.5 games, mate. That's what I'm getting at here. In a 1.5 game, it's the old cliche, isn't it? You know, the safe form goes at the one day with the Old Firm games, and the safe form goes at the one day with a final. You look at the other Niederweg, you see it, the Europa League Cup final, Atalanta and Leverkusen, who went unbeaten their whole season, won the German Bundesliga, and Atalanta showed up and romped them 3-0. Absolutely spanked them. Again, not the form team, not the team that was regarded that was going to win it, but
too
they won
powerful.
It. Yeah,
powerful, mate.
You know what I mean? So
it was men against boys. I watched it. It was men against boys, man. They're just too powerful. And I think that's what Clement's trying to turn us into what Atalanta done. That's exactly what he's going to be trying to do to us, because the Germans were the better team. You could see allowed to play the better team, but the Atalanta just didn't allow them to play. They just bullied them all over the park, mate. Bullied them all over the park. And the wee boy scored a hat-trick. Good hand, it was a cracking hat-trick, by the way. It was a beauty.
Yeah.
So if you look at European football and you look at where you want to get to, if you look at Atalanta, that's where we want to get to.
Aye, not one of the giants of the Italian league. A team that's managed well and they buy well, mate. That's what I do watch that league regularly. That team have not the biggest budget either, but they just seem to have a good manager that knows what he's doing, and their scouting's excellent. And they seem to pick up a lot of players that don't seem to fit in other places, like a team of misfits as well. But they always seem to, like the boy, look, when it scored the hat-trick, he couldn't get into a team in England, couldn't even get an England cap. And look, he goes plays for Nigeria now, and now he's scoring hat-tricks in European finals, mate. You know, and England lack on the left.
It was a good hat-trick, wasn't it?
Aye, it was, mate, it was. Right, we're going to listen to the manager, guys, and then we'll get these lines open. What do you think?
Go for it.
Right, we're going to hear for the manager, Philip Clement.
Philippe, first and foremost, how's your squad for the weekend? Yilmaz, Sima, are they in a position where they could start the game, having got minutes of the weekend? And how is Liam Balogun?
I don't want to say too much about the squad. This is a final game, a decisive game. So maybe we need to take some risk with players that we normally don't do, because there's a season coming after. So I don't want to get too much into that, which player is ready or not, or can start or not. So I did it all season, every occasion, every 3 days with you guys. This one, I don't want to speak too much about that.
How much is on this game? Is it about more than just the trophy that's up for grabs? Do you need as a team to show you can beat this Celtic?
No, it's always more than a trophy in this country between the two clubs, so it's always the case. Of course, you wanted to have a better preparation the last, let's say, 6-8 weeks. It's been difficult with all the players falling out, coming back out of injury, but missing rhythm, others falling out. So it's now about this one moment, about 90 minutes, 120 minutes, 120 minutes and penalties to give everything with all squad, with everybody who's available. And I think a few guys even want to come on the pitch with crutches. No, I cannot allow that, of course, but we're going to go hard with the team with every energy that is available in the building.
You've said there'll be a lot of change in the summer, or indicated there'll be a lot of change. But do you think, both from your point of view and from the club's point of view, you need to show the fans you're able to beat your rivals? Does it change the mindset going into the summer if you show you can beat Celtic in this game?
I don't think it will be major differences in decision making. Maybe a player can change the mind to stay if he makes something really special out of this game. That can always happen. But I didn't say a lot. So you guys making the story bigger and bigger. And it's also difficult to say what is a lot or what is... We need to make changes, it's clear. Some things happened this season that were not good enough. And it's ambition to make the club better and make the team better. So it's clear we need to do that towards next summer, next season. But first we need to focus now on the now, on this moment, and to grab the moment, because if I look back at these last 3 Old Firms, where I was with the team, we didn't grab the moments in those games. Not in our offensive actions where we had enough chances to score more goals. Not in our defensive actions, and for sure not by taking 2 times a red card. Because that changed also a lot, of course, of the scenario of the game. So I expect now 90 minutes or 120 minutes at least to have 11 players on the pitch all the time, and to have better starts also of the game, and to work out of that.
What have you seen in the last 3 games against Celtic, Philippe, that gives you encouragement for this game?
That we've been always close. It's been 1 goal difference at the end, the 2 games that you lost, and 1 draw when you come back after 2-0. So it's not that we lost with a lot of difference, but it was always close until the last second of the game. We were in the game. It's now about taking these moments also and to be better than we were in those games. So I want to see more quality from the team again, whoever is playing or whoever is that moment on the pitch, because it will not be, for sure, not be the same 11 who end the game, who started the game.
A lot of fans, a big percentage of Rangers fans would perhaps hope that John Lundstram wouldn't play tomorrow, Saturday, I beg your pardon. Is that a big call for you to bring him back, if you are going to bring him back?
I'm never going to make decisions about what fans are thinking at that moment, because that's emotion, and they don't see trainings, they don't see the team working, they don't even know the players, how they are, or how they are in the dressing room. So I don't think I need to answer that question if I need to start with him or not. It's about the decision that I make with my staff about what I see in the trainings and what I saw the last couple of months in the games.
You said you might take some risks with some players. Will some players have to take injections and what have you to play through pain barriers?
I'm not a doctor, so we're not speaking about injections. But all the players want to play this game, all of them, all in the dressing room, and some want to go really on the edge to be there to play that game. So we're gonna need to make smart decisions about that. How many minutes they can do without it's too much risk, of course. But they want to do it, and that's already the main thing.
How long will you give players to prove their fitness? Will you give them until Saturday morning, for example, to say, I'm fit to play, or do you have to make decisions before that?
I need to see tomorrow at training. So that's the final moment to show that you're fit enough to play some minutes in the game. Otherwise, if you didn't train all week, it's impossible to play some minutes in the game.
You mentioned the 2 red cards in the previous Old Firms. Will you mention that again to the players and stress the need for cool heads and not to make challenges like that?
I've did it at times before. It's one of my principles. It's in our dressing room. So that's not something new. And there was also 2 different red cards, 2 different ways. So like I said the last time, it was a split-second decision, was the totally wrong decision. And the player knows that directly also in that moment. And for sure, the experienced guys. So I don't think it was about losing the head in that moment. It was a wrong decision making. You cannot afford that in these kind of games where the intensity is that high and where every decision can be vital.
For a game like this, is it all about one final push and making sure that the players leave absolutely everything out there?
Yeah, for sure. And these kind of games, everything can be decided in a split second, so you need to be switched on all the time. And you can win against every opponent in that kind of game. So it's a really interesting one. I feel a lot of energy in the team now and a lot of desire to end this season in a really good way. There are good steps made, but there are also things that we lost along the way with the injury thing. So we need to solve that towards next season and to build then on that for next season. Of course, if you have 2 trophies, it's an extra boost.
I know you say that the games have been tight against Celtic since you've arrived, but do you feel there maybe needs to be a change in mindset from some of the players going into these big games?
For sure, our beginning of the game needs to be better, for sure. And we worked on that the last times. Was not good enough, so we're going to try it again in a different way. But for sure, that was important. But it was, circumstances also sometimes going against you in a really unlucky way. If I think about the Ibrox game, after 22 seconds, this ball can land everywhere, but now it lands nicely in the corner next to your goalkeeper also. But that's the worst start you can have. Let's go full now to have a much better start.
You feel with the trophy this weekend that could be a really good season for Rangers, or do you already feel it's been a good season and this would be...
It's not a moment to make an evaluation of the season now. And for sure, for me, I'm not all season here. So I'm not the person to make an evaluation about the season. I can make an evaluation about the last 6 months, what happened. We did that already in the club. That's why we want to change also some things to make it better toward next season. And that's it's about. But of course, winning 2 trophies is much better than winning 1 trophy. And winning an Old Firm is also much better than not winning an Old Firm. That's really clear, so we're going to go full for that.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Aye, indeed, folks, the lines are open. Great to hear for the calls, guys. The show's been pretty quiet. I'd love to hear what they've got to say about this current squad. I'd like to hear some people's teams and thoughts. Interesting presser for the gaffer there, mate. I think he was pretty straight with the media. And they were trying to get, who's going to be fit and available, who's going to take injections. Where are we? 60s? Who gets injections nowadays? You know what I mean? Some of the questions are mental. Albert.
Who asked the questions? Well, that one about Lundstram. Same person asking about Lundstram. The crowd, the supporters don't want him to play. So we pick the team now, that's what he's telling them. And the injection, the same guy asked, who is that? I'd love to know who that clown is. I hear that voice all the time. And it's always the same snidey sort of questions they ask. It sounds to me he's let's say a non-Ranger supporter anyway. He's been cagey with his team, quite right. I mean, what's the point of just telling everybody your team? And he sounds a bit peed off to me about his choices, and I think he's trying to send a message out, not to the players this time, but the background staff. Get some of these players available for this game. Are they going to be fully fit? No. You can't have them out for 6 weeks, couple of months, and then expect a 1 week training session them all to be fit again. That's not going to work that way. So he's not trying to con anybody and saying, they're all 100% fit and all ready to go. He's got a limited squad, and he's got a limited selection within that squad, time-wise.
Robert, what do you think about the gaffer's presser there, mate? What's your thoughts on what some of the questions he was asking? And particularly the John Lundstram one, I'm going to ask you both a question. They're asking him, fans don't want John Lundstram to play. He's a manager. And at the end of the day, as much as, and I know on the show he's had a lot of criticism, and rightly so, Lundstram due to his last actions in the last game. But whether we like it or not, only my opinion, I probably get shot down for it. He's still one of the best midfielders we've got at the club at the moment. For me, he has to start. Robert?
Again, we discussed it the night, mate, and I said my thoughts on it were, if he comes back into the squad, it's probably going to be for Raskin, given his lack of game time of recent months. But again, Raskin's not done anything of fault. He's looked quite neat and tidy. He looks quite aggressive in terms of his press, a wee bit of kind of feistiness in the middle of the park, which we need. So if I was bringing John Lundstram back, personally, mate, I'd probably just put him on the bench, if I'm honest. I guess we'll probably touch on teams later of how we'd maybe think it's going to go, but we can't forget that when when Phil Clement came in, John Lundstram stepped up and was one of the main consistent players. He's always available, apart from obviously his red card getting suspended, but in terms of injuries, he's never out. Even when he took a bad knock, I think he only missed maybe one game and came back. So he's reliable in that sense. Yes, he has his faults and he's had his mistakes like most of the players have this season, but he has been a player that in the middle of the park, he's shown under Clement right at the start. He had a moment of madness in his last game. And you know yourself, bud, a lot of people say you're only as good as your last game. And if you're sent off on it, that's all they remember. The stuff he done before is in the past, it's all forgotten. But as you said, mate, it's a one-off cup game. You've got to start with your strongest team. And if Clement starts John Lundstram, he'll get my back and he'll get my support. Because he's on that park to win us a trophy, mate. We don't pick a squad, as Albert says. We are fans, we have opinions, but we don't pick squads. If a manager does that, then the wrong job.
Agree, Albert. John Lundstram, what are you thinking, mate?
Me personally, I don't want him to play for the reasons been given multiple times over the last 2 weeks since whatever happened at the Piggery. But as I said, we don't pick squads. If he wants to pick him, it's his job. It's on the line, mate, at the end of the day. No, recently, short term. I'm talking about long term. He's got to make all the decisions, and his job will depend on getting them right. He sees that if he wants to play him, he'll play him, and that's right. That's the way it should be. But my big concern, put Lundstram aside, is the rest of the midfielders. It just shows the lack of quality in our squad, by the way. Then that guy does that crazy tackle, scores an own goal, does a crazy tackle, right? Misses 2 games, and there's nobody in the rest of the squad can actually take his position off him and say, you're not getting that jersey back. No, I mean, taking advantage. I mean, you said it, Port. In your opinion, he's one of the best, if not the best midfielder we've got. That's some indictment, not other the rest of the players, isn't it? When they go, there's your chance. He's just done something crazy. Take his jersey off him, and you've got a cup final to play. There's a cup final position for you there, and they can't take it. They can't take it. They're not good enough to take it. If what you're saying's right, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying
no, yeah,
it's bad. It's bad that the Raskin, Jack, all the rest of them, Diamondi, whoever cannot take his position off him. That's ridiculous, man. That's why he needs to strengthen.
My thoughts are, and I've said this when the last show was on, we need legs in midfield to compete with their midfield, because I think, and it's again the old cliche, all the battles are won, the games are more or less won in the midfield. And I don't want to be too powder puff in there. I mean, but at the same time, we need players to match runners, because we know the way O'Reilly runs off midfielders and arrives late in the box. Hattati just runs.
Lundstram. He runs off Lundstram, man.
Yep.
That's the problem.
Hattati runs. Yeah, Hattati runs all day long. So we need legs in there to match. And I think maybe if Raskin was further down the line, maybe another 3 weeks, 4 weeks ahead of schedule and had more minutes, I think you could throw a wee man straight in. Actually, I'll on to this show. I love Nico Raskin. I love how aggressive the press he is. It's just, I'm like Hawks. I just think his distribution sometimes is a wee bit, poor. But I think
see Hattati, McGregor and O'Reilly, they run for an hour, mate. They run for an hour and then they run out of steam, and that's been proven.
Yeah.
So if you can stay with them, keep them out of the game for an hour, they'll just run out of steam, mate. They will run out of steam. No danger.
Don't get me wrong.
Go for it.
We might need all the midfielders. I think it's going to be one of these games. I think it's going to be, we'll probably use 17 to 16 players. We'll definitely use most of the squad that's on the bench, because I think it's going to be, as you said, mate, they're going to give their all for 60 minutes. They always do, and then we seem to dominate the last half hour, 40 minutes of a game. And if it goes like that again, I think this is when your manager has to be clever with his substitutions. He has to be clever with his team lineup, who's put his first 11 are, but he also has to use players that aren't just quite fully fit at the right time to come and make a difference. Or if he didn't start Lundstram, bring him on in the second half when players are more tired. He's mobile, he has to be the first half, and let him show it and be that defensive element of the game, and let's see the game out. But I want to see for the first minute, guys. I don't want a slow start. I don't want to lose a goal in the first 10 minutes. I want us to come out blood and thunder. Absolutely go for it. Regardless how they come out, I just want us to go for full pelt, guys. Like your life depended on it. Get out there and get in their faces. Because like that game the other night, Albert, that you watched, if we stop them playing for the back and playing through that midfield, let's try and stop. Let's try and dominate that midfield for a wee change. Because I'm getting pig sick of watching their midfield getting ran over. Robert?
I agree, mate. I think if we start the way we have in the past months, especially against Celtic, then they'll think we're going to sit off and allow them to have that space and freedom in the park. We've seen how they can, as you said, they run off the back of us, they control the midfield. McGregor can find passes left, right and centre when there's nobody within 10, 15 yards of them. Get right in their faces and rattle them from the start, because as you said, the minute we disrupt them, we then have control of that game and they're doing the chasing. So I think it's important that we do start correctly and we start right, but also, for me, I said it the other night, the selection is as big as the application on Saturday. It's fine putting out a squad and telling them to do the job, and they do it, but I think the formation, the setup, the player instructions has to be spot on, because as you said, if they get a hold of that game in the first 10, 15 minutes, we're chasing our tails, boys, and it's hard enough to get back into. We've shown it in the league games. We've went 2-0 behind and started to play some football, left it too late. It's a cup final. It's a one-off game. As you said earlier on, Paul, everything goes out the window. Go out, rattle them, and take control of the game. And if we can do that, it sets us in good stead. Might not have to score early on. If we do, it's an absolute bonus. But if we don't, we control the game, let them chase, tire, and then we can use the pace, any subs, as you said, at crucial game points in the game, bring the players on and impact the game. And it could be a scrappy 1-0 win, but controlled 1-0 that they have not had a glove on us, and it's a cup win, and that's it. It sounds simple, but it's about the start, the application, and the commitment to do it for the 90 or more minutes.
I agree, mate. I agree. It would be great to land that first punch in the nose. If we get that early goal, we have that, maybe a 15-20 minute early storm where we really put them under pressure, and as long as we score from that pressure, it'd be great to see them get a wee punch in the nose just to see how they react, and then they would have to commit on to us as well. But Albert, do you think the manager has to do anything radical with the formation? Do you think he's maybe going to be ace up his sleeve? A different formation, a different way of stopping them, or do you think it's all about imposing your game on them in the current manager's, formation?
Well, he's actually hinted on that he's trying something different at the start. No, I mean, his system's his system, mate. That's that. He very rarely changes that system. He might tweak wee bits and things like that, but he doesn't really change the system. But he's seen the last 3 games. It'd be crazy, mate. If he doesn't to say it himself, like, I need to get a hold of this right at the beginning of the game, right at the start of the game. We can't keep giving them 2-goal leads. This is crazy. We need to cut that out for a start, and let's stay in the game for as long as we can, or even take the lead. Let's be honest about it. We're not hanging on here. Let's get to them. Let's let them worry about us as much as we seem to be worrying about them. So let us get in the game right away, and let us take a 2-0 lead. There's nothing to stop us there. And this is the moments he was talking about, and Tavernier was going on about moments. It's all moments. Take your moments. We all know we've had chances, mate. Before they scored in the last game, Silver should have scored at least one. It's a Saturday, must be a Saturday, mate. So things like that, that's what they're going on about. So there's nothing. If you're playing right, everything goes, take your chances. There's nothing to fear. You can match them all over the place, no bother. It's this lackadaisical start that he's talking about. So he might tweak something for that, Port. But I don't know. I don't think overall, as the game progresses, that he'll slip back into his normal shape. I don't think he'll change that. No.
Robert, what do you think? Do you think the manager's got an ace up his sleeve? Do you think he'll tweak the formation, or do you think it'll something radical? Do you think he'll, just try and... What I mean by that is something like a 3-5-2, just absolutely flood the midfield, just block them. What do you think, Robert? You see any wee tricks up the manager's sleeve for the game ahead?
I'd like to see him go 4-3-3 and kind of just match him up man for man. The middle of the park is where the game is win and loss for me. As we've spoke, Hatate, O'Reilly, McGregor have far too much control over the game. If we can match them up with the likes of Diamonde, Sterling in there, and you've got Raskin or Lundstram, one of them, man for man, and you've got a bit of everything there. You've got Lundstram who can find a pass. If you play Raskin, he's the aggressive one, he's the presser, the pit bull. His nickname was in Belgium. Let's see it. You've got Diamonde, who is a very talented footballer. We can see he's got potential, he's going to grow. He just needs to find a partnership, and I think you'll see the better of him when he's in a free. And I'd put Sterling in there, pace, power, everything. And he also allows that kind of cover as a centre back that you could drop in to a back 3 or a 5, as you say there, mate, and be a bit spontaneous and allow the full backs to get up a wee bit. That's how I would set up. I would go with a free midfield. And I know it kind of takes away that number 10 position and it leaves a gap between your forward line and midfield. But I think the past 3 games, as Albert's touched on, you've got to get close to them. You can't allow them to dictate the play or control it. We need to take control, and that's why I would go with a 3 in the middle. A 2 against 3, mate, you've got a spare man. And you're asking a player like Cantwell in the 10 to drop back. We know we can do defensive work, but if he's not got the attitude, you're playing with a man down in the middle.
No, that's been glaringly frustrating for me at times, when, especially in the last game, where I felt, even before Lundstram got sent off, I still felt Diamande was getting left on his own against the 3 of them, because like Lawrence was trying to get close to Dessers, and then Lundstram was disappearing between 2 centre halves. So basically, Diamande standing looking to his left, looking to his right, and his boys have left him. His boys have left him. And it's a lonely old place against O'Reilly, Hatate, and Cal McGregor, when they've got running power. Hatate and O'Reilly, who's constantly just running inside left, inside right channel, linking up. We need. I have to agree with you, Robert. I think if we matched up, that would sort of definitely stem the flow, and you're getting strict instructions, basically. Man for man. Stay with your man. Let's just match up for the first, 30 minutes and get ripped into them, and just see where we go from there. In terms of, that's where I think Raskin could, sneak in before Lundstram, because he's the one of the running power, over Lundstram. And I think that's what the manager's to decide. Does he want to match up with legs so that he's got guys with these runners constantly, or is he going to go to try and test John Lundstram, who'll try and at times sweep in front of the back 4 and then disappear into the back 4 at times? Because for me, I'd like to see him, if he's to start, his instruction for me would be, no, stay in the middle of the park, stop coming in to that back line. We don't need you in there. And if I was a centre half, I'd be telling him the same. I'd tell him to get out of FAs, because sometimes I think he confuses things in there. I really do. Hence why the OG come off him. I think that came for not communicating. And before you know it, he's facing his goal, ball bounces off and he's in the goal. It's incredible. Communication, massively important. Albert?
Absolutely, mate. It's always important. One of the big problems we've had when we play them is the falling asleep and the passing on the players. I know the 3 areas of your team, your forwards, your midfield, and you pass players on as the play progresses, is when you're defending. The problem we've got is the last 25 yards of the park, doing it with an area. When the player leaves the midfield and he passes them on to the defender, we're not getting that bit right. We seem to get it right in Europe, but we can't seem to get it right in the domestic game. Lundstram, for example, in that last game, was letting that Riley walk off him all the time, and eventually scores. And if you watch it, he doesn't even run into the space; he just walks into the space because Lundstram stopped to pass him on to the defence. But the trouble with the defence is in shape. There's nothing wrong with the defence. For for Davis to pick up O'Reilly, he needs to wreck the whole back line to pull himself out of position to go and get Riley. And that then in itself creates gaps in your defence. So that's a big problem, mate. And they exploit it all the time. Used to do it with Kamara, they do it with Lundstram, they do it with Diamande. Because our players have been coached this way to stop, pass it on. Forwards pass it on in midfield go so far, then pass on in defence, and then pick up. That's the way we play, mate. But you need to watch. Teams have worked it out that there is a no man's land there. The midfield passes on, but the defence don't want to come pick it up. And that no man land is where they play. And it works a treat, mate. It works all the time. That's why they look if they've got space all in our area all the time. So we need to track. You need to track. I actually watched Tavernier when that attack was that other one was dancing all over the place out in the wing down at our 18-yard box. He's running into the 18-yard box and he's trying. It's a shy they've got, and the guy's trying to give him a shy. Tavernier's about to pass the player on to Suter when he was on the pass. He's going to pass in the 18, and I'm going, what are you doing? You stick with your man in the 18-yard box. You stick with your guy. You don't start going, I thought you were going to get him. This is the crazy bit about that system. That's the bit that Clement will eventually get right. He'll coach it right into them because at the moment they're not doing it right. As simple as that, mate. They're just simply not doing it right.
I agree, Robert.
I agree, mate. There's mistakes been in the past that we need to pick up on, essentially, and now's the time to do it. It's a cup final, one-off game. If we don't get it right on Saturday, as I said, mate, that lingers over to next season as well.
Just got across here, Robert. I believe we've joined with Shuggy. How you doing, mate?
Hello there. Not so bad. How's yourself?
Good, mate. Good, mate. What's your thoughts? What you think about the game at the weekend?
I just hope that we actually get stuck into him this time and don't allow him to play the football. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I listened to the press conferences today, and they didn't fill me with much light, to be honest, because I thought both Tavernier and Mr. Clement was very negative. They come across as very negative to say that it's a cup final. You know, we should be raring to go because we're sick of getting beat by these. So we should be raring to go. You know what I mean? There shouldn't be no motivation needed. Them players should really want to play for us, and those players that are going to play the last game, well, they should say, well, look, I want to go out with a medal.
I totally agree, mate. I think that's as I said earlier on the show, last chance saloon for some of the players in it. It's all about, it could be the last time playing for Rangers, it could be the last time to win a medal. So go and give it your all. Albert, what do you think? Shuggy's points here, mate?
Aye, you're right, mate. They didn't sound confident, mate. And I'm glad they don't sound confident because at the end of the day, they've been beat 3 times and drew once. And that's no good enough, Shug. That's just simply no good enough, as you said. And I agree with you, mate. Totally agree with you. It's so tail between their legs. They've been whipped into the corner. Let's come out fighting. This is Glasgow Rangers. You play for Glasgow Rangers. Well, we'll take our doings. We'll take our defeats. But we're not going to be happy about it. We're not going to lie down. We're coming out to fight. Let's get out there and show them.
Well, that's right. But at the end of the day, Mr. Clement, to me, in the last 6 games or 8 games, he doesn't talk like a confident manager. So if he's breeding that through the players, well, I'm sorry, but he's not driving it forward in the right way, I don't think.
I don't think he's there. I don't think he's doing it intentionally, mate. It's a question of he's restricted with a lot of things that we don't know about. He looks like a man that's frustrated and restricted, and if he just gets a free hand, which he's not going to do at the Scottish Cup because all the players are not going to be back, and he's not get other players in that he wants in. So he's just sitting there, and he's frustrated. He's absolutely frustrated. And I think what's really took him aback is what he got them playing January, February, March, around about the times. He actually got them playing and we get in the league. And at one point, we looked to we're going to just run away with the league, go in and just win the league. And it all came crashing down for various reasons we pointed out. And that's where the frustration comes in with him. But he can see it in his eye. You can hear it. But if he was actually a player playing, he knows what he would do. You know what you would do. I know what I would do. Port knows what he would do, Robert. We all know what we would do. We actually could go in the park and put effort and heart into it. So I think that's what's coming from him. I don't think it's the fetus that's coming from him.
You see, the thing I don't like about where he's coming out for is when he says, "Well, I don't like my players tackling like that." Excuse me, if I was playing against him or any team in the Premier League, I'd tackle as hard as I could. And if I wasn't going to take the ball, I'd take the man. And if I get a booking for it, well, there's the consequences, because at the end of the day, we're too soft, and that's what teams know. So they think, well, Rangers are not going to put one on us anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's about time we said, right, well, we'll go the other way then, and we'll turn it round and we'll put one on you and see how you like that.
In my opinion, mate, he's talking about the officials. He's telling the players.
No, I'm on about the players. I'm on about the players, you know, because he actually said in one of his press conferences a few weeks ago that, especially after Lundstram did that one in the last scum game, he said, I don't like any of my players playing like that. Well, excuse me. The way I was brought up is, if the ball's there to be challenged for, you challenge for it. If you win it, you win it. If you miss it, well, you miss it, you get sent off. It's about time we had a bit of passion and a bit of heart and a bit of steel about us, rather than saying, well, I won't go in for that challenge because I might get hurt.
I understand, Chug, where you're coming from, but I'm cut for the same cloth as you, mate. I was cheering that tackle that John Lundstram done, but at the same time, I understood that when I seen it slowed down, I thought, oh, maybe that's a bit naughty. I like to see my midfielders playing like that. So we are played, you take risks, but the trouble is, football's moved on, mate, and that's just, as soon as you leave the deck now, as soon as you're sliding along the grass, you're risking a red card every time. I don't think Clement means, I was saying this show, mate, I find my team's too nice, right? And what I mean by that, they are soft, too nice as well, in the dark arts of football as well. And what I always ask for is, I think it's a fine balance. I think the manager's looking for, I want to see you getting stuck in, but don't be stupid. Don't give the referee a decision to make. And I think that's what you do now. As soon as you, it's unfortunate, I suppose, because you always like the same sort of midfielders as I do. As soon as you go to ground and you start flying through there, or you're sliding along that grass, and you don't connect to that ball, you're off. And because the referees, the standard we refereed to in Scotland, we're definitely getting sent off. Blue shirt, mate, we're getting sent off. We can't afford that at the weekend. In terms of what you're saying about the manager being negative, I think, Shug, what's happened is, I think he's, because he got the team to where they were, and we were flying like all Bear says, I think he's raging the way it's panned out. I think he's absolutely pissed off, pardon my French, the way it's transpired. And I think that's what he's showing, a wee bit of frustration in terms of, God, I got you there. You've done this. In terms, they done it as well. They got to the position where they were wanting, but they've let themselves down and they've let their manager down. And I think that's what you're seeing at him. You're seeing him. He's let down. He's thought, God, I've got you there. You've got there yourself, and then we couldn't get over the line. Robert, what's your thoughts on the manager?
Echo what you two boys have said already. He's a frustrated figure at times on the touchline. You can see him. And as you said, he got the form, he got a tune out of them. He got the synergy back with the fans, by flying. And then it was injury after injury after injury. He was disrupted. He had a puzzle to try and get a team on the park. Players were asked to play in different positions. You've seen Sterling getting put out right mid. You had different players all over the park in unknown positions for them. So it's a frustrating figure. And he's learned a lot in these past few months and past few weeks especially, about the players, about himself as a manager, and where we're going to go to move forward. And if these things didn't happen, that would have been a concern, that it would have been too stale, that if we were flying the whole way, yes, we'd win a trophy, but it might not have painted a true picture, whereas now Clement can see the players and squad for what it is, and we can move on and be stronger.
Sugar?
Aye, but the thing is, as a manager, if you're a good quality manager, you don't show your frustration. I mean, Jock Wallace, right? He used to show his frustration, but he needs to channel it in the right direction. Where, like you say, I think there's a wee bit of clemency as frustration, but he's got to try not to show it, because he shows it with his anger. So he's got to tone his anger down and say, right, this is how you go about it, rather than actually show his anger. Because when you actually look at his body language now, when he first came in, he was all brash and, oh yes, well, my players will do this and my players will do that. He's not like that now. So he's got to learn, or he's got to look at himself and say, well, hang on a minute, I'm making mistakes as well. They're making mistakes. Right, we've got to come together as a squad. But, I mean, the thing that really worried me the other day was when they actually turned around and they said, well, the second in charge is moving on anyway. And he's one of the Scots that we've actually got around the club at the minute. We can't afford to be letting people like that go.
Aye, no, I agree. Right, so we'll pick this up after the tune, mate, all right? Everybody get on mute, and here's the tune.
No problem.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Well, the DJ Staunch meter just shot there, boys, eh?
That's a goosebumps on now, boys.
Do you like that one, Shug? Were you dancing
Brilliant, aye, brilliant.
there? Like you just back in your seat now after sculling out the living room. We're going to kick out a second half, guys. I'm going to change it a wee bit in regards to player recruitment and also players that could possibly staying or going. Goalkeeper, we'll start with goalkeeper, guys, eh? For number one, Jack Butland. I'm just going to ask you, stay, sold. That's what I'm going to ask you, and give me your reasons. I'm going to give my opinion. First, I'll kick it off. I'm going to say I would like to keep Jack Butland, but depending how deep our recruitment has to be in this rebuild, I think if the right offer comes in, he'll be sold. And I'll start with you, Bear.
I keep for football reasons, sell for business reasons. Of course it is, mate. Me personally, I'd like him to stay, but if it's like we're going to go through all these players, but it's going to be the same answer to most of them, or if not all of them. If the price is right, they're going. It's as simple as that, mate. And for Butland, I'm going to stick a 15 million plus on him. If that sort of money comes in, he's gone. We have no choice, mate. Whether we're rebuilding or no rebuilding, we have no choice. It's the model, it's the business model, the football model that we're actually building. This is a difficult thing about the Rangers now in modern times. To build a team and keep a team, you can't keep a team, mate. And it's all about money now. And there's too many big fish out there now. They'll just, if you get players that are of Butland's calibre, will come calling. There's no doubt about it, mate. But if it's my choice, I would keep him. 15 plus price would have to take him away.
Robert?
I'd love to keep him, mate. I think he's been a great buy from us for free transfer, to be honest. But again, as Albert says, for business senses, from a free transfer, if a huge bid comes in, we can't be naive and turn that down when it could improve the squad by bringing in maybe 3-4 players. As much as I think Butland's been tremendous and we've relied heavily on him, there's money that you could not turn down at times, and particularly if we need to do a rebuild. And as Clement said, in January, the money wasn't there. We've had to dip into some of the summer funds. If you're getting close to 15 million, like Albert says, his price tag from a free transfer, you can't blink twice, unfortunately. But I'd love him to stay.
I agree, mate. Shug, how are you on?
Well, I'd like him to stay, but I think if, like you say, if anything over 15 million comes in for him, I think we've got to take it, because I read or I heard earlier on the day that we're supposedly bringing 8 players in. Well, we certainly haven't got the money to bring 8 players in, so we're going to have to sell, aren't we?
Unfortunately, I think he's one of the assets we've got. I think probably, if I'm totally honest, he's probably the biggest asset we've got in terms of what we didn't pay for him. In fact, a free transfer. I've seen a lot of English media still saying it's documented that he's still got ambitions to play in England, but he doesn't know if that's going to get met staying in Scotland. So I don't know if that's got any, twist in the tail where, this sort of the scenario, this story's building, because, there's clubs definitely, especially promoted teams in England, even some of the decent Premier League teams, he could play for any one of them. He's definitely showed his quality since he came to Rangers, and showed his quality as a number one, where down in England for the last 3 years prior, I think he played 13 games in 3 years, 13 starts it was in 3 years. So I think he's got the decision to make as well, what's best for him. If he's so desperate to play for England, I understand it. I totally understand it. But I think he would take a risk as well, depending on what club he went to. They could end up back on the bench very quickly, because you're under a microscope big time down in England. You're under a microscope here, but he's playing well within himself here because he's a regular number one. Aye, so I agree. Right, we'll go to The captain. This one will split opinion probably. I'm going to say keep, because I still think he could offer. Still a goal machine, still an assist machine. But keep with a view to Sterling taking his place.
Sell.
Right.
Reasons? If you get, he's done. He's finished, right. Mate. Too old. He's had his time. His time's up. And if we actually get money for him, take it in a heartbeat, mate, because that is the model. And I don't think you'll ever get money for Tav or his pal. But if you ever did, it was likely money to come in. Any amount would do me, mate. Any amount would do me. I would sell him.
Okay. Robert?
Keep for at least another year. Reasons for that, mate, is I know he's obviously aging in terms of what he was when he first came to the club, but his stats you can't ignore, and a lot of other fans I think can be naive at times in terms of we won't realise what Tav brings until he's gone, and that's obviously his goals, his assists. Defending's always been questionable. That's always been Tav's kind of downfall. But going forward, mate, I don't think we're not going to have a right back that can produce those numbers. And again, although he's been criticised this season, he's still contributed massively. And we done it last year. We let players go who had goals in them. Your Sakalas, your Cholaks, your Arfields. So we've been wrong in the past to let players go who can contribute, and Tav can still do it. So I'd give him at least another year. Plus, it's his testimonial year as well. I know sentiment goes out the window at times, but it's his testimonial year. If he wins on Saturday, I think he'll win another year as well to try and go and get a league title before he finishes his career at Rangers.
Good point, mate. Shuggy? Sell? Yeah. What's your reasons, mate?
Because I think his legs have gone. I think, like Robert said, you know, there's good points in there, but I just think his legs have gone, and I think we're supposedly after a new right back anyway. So if that be the case, from what I've read about this right back, he does a similar job. He probably doesn't score the goals that Tavernier gets, but he does a similar job from what I understand. So maybe if we can get goals in other areas, offer Tavernier's money. That's my thinking on it.
Cool, mate. Right, I'll bear your favourite. Connor Goldson.
Sell. Simple fact, he's rotten. And the same reasons for Tav. He's done. If you get money on him, capitalise in it. You'll save a fortune in wages as well, and for Tav as well. But they're just done, mate. Their time is up. We're going to revamp. We're going to have to do this right. And we can't keep hanging on to these players. And they've already been called serial losers. Not just by us, by other people, everybody. So their time's up. It's time to go. It's time to go, man. You can't keep hanging on to them. It's pointless. No, totally, utterly pointless.
Totally get your sentiments, guys. I'm no. It's an opinionated show. This is what it's about. I agree with you all, Bear. I think it's time Connor Goldson to go. I think he's a year ahead of Tav when you're saying the legs are gone. I do really think Connor Goldson has played a lot of games for Glasgow Rangers in a short time. You know, there's guys that's been at the club, you know, legends club guys at the club that's not played as many games as he's played. I think he's had an incredible early part of his career at Rangers where he's been available at every game, you know, very rarely injured, but he's played he's got a lot of miles in the clock in such a short time. And I do think, like yourself, Albert, I do think he can't move the way he used to. He's still got that long ball and attributes, you know, like that. And again, we always question his defending and all that, don't we? People probably argue that if he gets somebody alongside him but mobile, it would help him. But I don't want that. I want the guy that's coming in to be better than him and not have to rely on anybody else, just be a defender for what he is. Robert, Connor Goldson.
Sell. Again, a bit like yourselves, it's an area, the pitch, where if we look at the way Clement is thinking in terms of youthful players coming into the squad, centre-back for me is an area where we don't have that kind of young, bright prospect. no disrespect to Leon King. I think he's got potential. I just don't think it's at centre back. But the ages of them, we need a kind of more youthful centre half that can be more mobile, more aerial dominant in both boxes. And as much as Conor Golson's been a great servant to the club, 55 title run, Seville, everything like that, he's had his moments. And I think, as Clement has said, we've come into a cycle, and centre back is an area for me personally that I look at where we can really refresh and have a more youthful, athletic partnership at the back. The flip side is we had the best defence in the league that Conor Golson was part of. So again, he's played a big part. But when you're talking about assets, mate, it might not be the biggest transfer fee, but I'm sure the wage space he's on would free up a lot of space.
I agree, mate. I agree. I think, it's like we're going to lose players, Borna, Lundstram, just to name them two, on free transfers this year. And what we're talking about, Albert, we need to get money for players, don't we? So regardless how much these guys are fan favourites and these one's a captain, I think it's no type of sentiment. I agree with, in regards to Golson, sell, and if we can get a fee for him and get him off the wage bill, I totally agree. Shoggy, what you thinking about Conor Golson, mate?
Yes, for the same reasons that you just said. I think we've got to get a new centre half. I think we've got to get a whole new back line, really, to be quite honest with you. Because I think Butland will be away. I think Tavernier will be away. I think Golson will be away. So I think it's going to be a complete new back line. Yeah.
We'll start with John Souttar next, guys. I'm going to say keep. The reasons I'll keep John Souttar is still think we've not seen the best of him. I think with a pre-season under Clement, I still like the fact he's great with the ball at his feet. He comes out well. He carries the ball very well. He's dominant in the air. He's good in the air. But I do think he'll improve under Clement, and he'll also improve with better players around him. And he also fits that Scottish element to our club as well. So I'm going to say keep on John Souttar. Albert?
Keep, mate. He's a good backup. I fully expect him to be a backup next year. So we'd keep him for that reason.
Yeah, that's fair. Robert?
Yep, I'd keep as well, mate. Again, he fits the homegrown quota, as you said, for European sort of qualifications and regulations. Not to mention that I think he acts as a good central defender. He's that modern day ball playing defender that can bring the ball out and not just do a long diagonal pass the way Golson does. He kind of brings it into midfield and isn't afraid to bring it out as well. So he's got confidence. Like yourself, mate, we've not seen the best of him. I think that's because he's been playing on that left side. So if John Souttar's to stay and gets a right-sided centre-back consistent run with a natural left footer beside him, as he has in Davis a couple of games ago, you might just see more dominance from John Souttar. And I think he understands the league as well and the importance of our club.
Right, the domestic tournament's dead important, guys. And if he only plays domestically, and he's still going to have an impact on our team. Shug?
Yeah, I think we should keep him. Yeah, I think he's very good. I think he's very good at what he does, and I think if he can get a full season in him next season, I think you'll see even a better player. So I definitely think we should keep him. Yeah,
I agree, mate. I agree. I think if he stays injury free, you'll see a much better player. Since he's joined, he's been ravaged by injury, and that's been a bit of a dampener for us, sort of, and seeing him progress, because he progressed well at Hearts and he was doing well at Hearts, and a lot of people were, a lot of teams in England were going to try and take him as well before we managed to nip in and get him.
Can I just come in again there, mate? There's another thing that I see at John Souttar as well is it might not be everybody's kind of cup of tea, but I kind of see a leader in there as well. I'm not saying a captain, but within that kind of core group, we're talking about a leadership group that consists of Tavernier, Golson, Lundstram. But we're discussing if we should keep a sale. We've said we'd sell one, others would say sell two, and Lundstram's potentially leaving in a free. So you need a new group of leadership, and I can see that in John Souttar.
That's fair, mate. That's fair. I'm going to go Ben Davis next. Ben Davis, I think he's got 2 years left in his contract. I was reading earlier on. Again, I think there will be interest for the Championship in him because he is rated down there. I'm going to say if we get similar money, sell him. I was thinking along the lines because his contract, if we don't get him, it won't be a absolute travesty if we have to keep him, because I think as a backup to the new signing that's supposed to come in the door, Cordoba, who's maybe our new signing. I think Ben Davies can be a backup for him. Again, both left feet. That's one of the things that's important to me, having balance on either side of the pitch. So I'm going to say sell, but if he's got to stay, he's got to stay. Robert?
I'm with yourself, mate. I wouldn't be opposed if he did stay. I think he's shown that when he's came into the squad, he's capable of doing the job. He looks quite confident in his abilities. He's not the strong centre half. He kind of reminds me of a Philip Hollander type of player where he reads your positional play very well, not blessed with pace. He just kind of reads the game, and he's looking quite composed at times as well. So I don't think he's ever had a foot wrong in the games he's played. If we get money close to what we got him for, again, I wouldn't be opposed to him selling. So I'd probably say I'm splitting that one in terms of I wouldn't be too bothered if he stays, and I wouldn't be too bothered if he goes as well.
Aye, see, that's where I sit, mate. I'm sitting on, that sort of. I kind of see he's bringing in odd defenders. So if money's got to be spread about the pitch, because I think we need help all over the pitch. So as I said, if he's got to fight it out with the new centre back that's supposed to be, days away from announcing, let two of them battle out. I mean, two left-sided players for that left side, and then Suter could battle out if we buy another right-sided centre back. So we've still got two players there also that meet that. They're experienced at the club. They've been at the club. So for any new player coming in, we still need that element, in my opinion, our players to integrate new players into the team and into what it's like to play for Rangers. Shug, what are you thinking about Ben Davies, mate?
I think sell if we get the right offer. If we don't, keep him as a backup. I think he's quite comfortable on the ball, but he doesn't look a great player for me. He does what he does and he gets through games, but he's not of a Rangers level, I would say.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Albert, Ben Davies, mate, where are you sitting on him?
Keep or sell, depending on the price. It's one of the ones, mate. It's a good backup for the left-hand side because we've got a squad to build. We can't just keep concentrating on centre halves, mate. Okay, we need two. I would think we need two centre halves, but Davis and Suter to me would be ideal backup.
And that's what the boys are pretty much saying, mate. Basically, what the threes pretty much unanimously have said, wouldn't be too bothered if we stayed or went. What I added to it just there, mate, was I think if you're going to get rid of Golds and Tav players like this, I think we still need an element of players that's got experience of being at the club. Obviously the senior, group will change if we lost two to it. So I think we still need an element of players there that's going to help integrate the new players, especially if we're buying from the countries that were, said to be interested in, for basically a Panamanian, Cordoba, and Yefte, a Brazilian who's played in Cyprus.
That's what I'm going to say about your leadership group. Let's get players in. Let's let them play for 3, 4, 5 months to decide if they are leaders without picking a leadership group, because I don't believe that group there is a leadership group. So you need to see them play and their attitude. And that'll take a few months to work that out. Then you build if you want a leadership group, you build it for that. So I'm away, mate. I'm right with you. But see if 2 or 3 or 4 million pound come in for Davis, I would sell him. I would sell him for that, mate.
That's what we've said more or less as well, mate. Yeah, I agree. Because what I will say is, I think I sit on the fence with this leadership group thing. I think you create. I don't really agree, guys. You tell me if you don't. I think you create sort of like a wee clique. See this management group or this leadership group, what you want to call them. How much a say have they got? And then if they're the leadership group, is the leadership group for the manager or is it for the players? And this is where I've sort of blamed this leadership group in the past. Managers getting sacked, down in tools. I've mentioned all these words in previous shows, and I just don't know if I like these wee leadership groups thing. know what you think, boys. Robert?
I think every player needs to be a leader in themselves. There may be more or other players in the squad that has a more natural leadership ability and more confidence in the leadership. Having a group, I would only expect my captain and vice captain. That's a group of two, and that should be it for me. But certainly you want to see every single player being a leader. And I get that, as I said, players have different levels of that. But if we can all have a bit of leadership about us on the park, then I go for it, fair dues. But in terms of a group, I would only expect it to be the captain and vice captain because they've been appointed by the manager, and that is a group. Anything else, if you're having a third or fourth person in there, what makes them become part of the leadership group? Is it because of their age? Is it because of their commitment to the club? Is it their contract? What makes them have a right to be a bigger leader than the person next to them on the park?
Mouthy. That's what that leadership group we've got. Mouthy. That's what they are, mate. Big mouths.
So you opposed to it all, Bear? Would you rather it wasn't a thing in my club, but you just down to the captain and vice captain, like Robert says?
A leadership group to me is self-evident, mate. A leadership group to me is if the crap's hit the fan on game day, on the pitch, they drag you into the game or win the game. They drag you in. They get the victories that are hard to get, mate. That's a leadership group to me. That's the only way a leadership group should be for me. Or sitting having a coffee, talking, there's nothing to me. That's just crap to me. Leaders show it. They don't talk about it. They just show it. And it's all right, as I keep saying, winning the games that you're winning, and that's fine and dandy. It's the games, like the Ross County game, for example, the Motherwell game, for example, drag us to win the games. You win the games. Leaders drag you to win the games, and they played a big part to win the games. So that's leaders to me. That's what I'm looking for, mate, in a group.
Totally get that, mate. That's you be a leader by showing it. I agree.
Yep.
I totally agree. That's what Barry Ferguson did. That's what Richard Gough did, because you seen it on the pitch and you could see it whether you were at the game or on a TV. You could see the leadership. You could see the leaders where they were dragging us to get results. Totally agree with you, mate. Shuggy, where do you sit on the leadership group thing?
Well, I think you're your own personal leader, and then you help the troops around you. You know, because at the end of the day, if you're not a leader when you go on that park, well, don't go on it. You know, you should be thinking, well, I'm going to lead myself, and I'm going to lead everybody along with me. So I'm going to tow the caravan, if you want to call it that. You know what I mean? That's the way I see it.
Good man. Right, boys. Liam Balogun. I'm going to say, as much as I like a big guy, and as much as I think he's still one of the best defenders at the club, I think it's time, like I always say on the show, it's time for new heroes, and it's time to let him go. All Bear.
Yeah, I let go. I like the guy myself. I like him a lot. But his time's up, mate. His time's up. And if he'd put it this way, it might not be up if he's playing tomorrow, and he is a man of the match performance. He might get another year out of this. He might. I mean, that's what Clement's telling them. If they want to listen to it, that's what he's telling you. Guys like Balogun. But if all things the way it is, he got injured there, and when we really needed him, he wasn't there because of his age, because of his injury. I'm not saying because of his performances, because the guy is a really good centre half, really good. Age catches everybody, but mate, so it's time to go.
I think we just got him a couple of years too late, to be honest, mate. And then when we let him go that year, we let him go when we shouldn't have let him go.
We shouldn't have let him go. That was mental. That was mental.
Robert, Liam Balogun.
Again, he's a great guy. He gets the club. You can see he's got a love for it, but I would sell as well. Or even it's not even going to be a sell because I think his contract's out, isn't it? So you're letting him go on a free. So I agree with yourselves. The year we got rid of him, I actually wanted to keep him. I thought he was probably arguably a better defender. And I know Golson was questionable to be up to there as well, but Balogun always seemed to be that reliable. I remember him playing right back at Parkhead, and he'd done a number. It was a great job. And Kyogo and everybody else that he had on the right side. So he's committed, he's reliable, but I think we got this season out of him when we should have got the last season out of him. So we've probably got our fair share of Leon Balogun.
Shug, how you doing, mate? What about this one? Liam Balogun?
I think we should let him go. Unfortunately, I think we should let him go. I don't think his legs would do another year.
That's fair, mate. Right, let's move into our midfield, and we'll start off with the guy that creates debate, John Lundstram. He's going to go on a free, but depending on how this match goes, will the gaffer, or should the gaffer, offer another contract to... Oh, sorry, Ridvan. I'm going to go Ridvan. Sorry, I jumped the gun there. The guy that I love to. Ridvan. I would say, again, a lot of interest in the wee man for his home country and in Italy, I believe. If the money's right, I think we'll have a decision to make, definitely. But I'm going to say keep Ridvan. Albert.
6 million plus, mate. And then 6 million plus comes in for him, he's gone. So, I'd like to keep the boy, but it's a fact. It's just a Butland scenario, mate.
Aye.
But that's the price you slap on him, 6 million plus. And I think he's worth every penny of that, mate.
Oh, mate, I was on the show getting off my heat at times when he came back into the team, and I was saying, why is he not giving that chance? He kept persisting with Borna. Eventually he got his chance, and then we all seen when he got all them games before he got called up for Turkey again. You know, he made such a difference to your team, and he does. He makes a massive difference to your team, how direct he is, whether he goes on the outside or he makes that inverted run inside and goes and joins up, you know, link with Dessers or number 10, whoever's in there. He's definitely an asset to the teammate, but he's got a financial asset as well, isn't he? So there's your answer. If we get the right offer, he's probably going to be gone. Robert?
I pretty much the same boat, mate. He's got a price tag. He's a young boy, again, under Turkish rules and regulations, he meets homegrown quota for some of these people as well. So I'd love to keep him because I think he's a different left back to what Borna is and was. Might not be delivery of Borna Barisic, but the way we play the inverted role now, it suits Barisic, Ridvan a lot more. He's not afraid to come forward, to come inside as well. Has a few shots at goal, which he can't fault. One day it'll go in. He actually got one against, was it Livingston at Ibrox? He'd done a bit of a run from left back. So he's an asset again, though. And that's the thing, as Albert says, a price tag on his head. But the fact that Borna's leaving, I'd rather keep Ridvan. And if this new boy, Jeff, the Brazilian's coming in, he's only 20 years of age. So you could have two young, promising left backs. And left back is not an easy position to fill, as we all know.
Shug, Ridvan, mate, what are you thinking?
I'd like to keep him. But I think if 6 million comes in, I think he's gone. Money, unfortunately, is going to talk. As if we are going to go for 8 players, which is what the rumour is, well, we've got to sell to get the money because 15 million is not going to get 8 players. So if you're looking at 15 million for Butland, 6 for Ridvan, there's 21 million. That probably won't get 8 players either, but you know, we've got to bump the price up so that we have a chance of getting decent players, maybe at 3 to 4 million.
Yeah. I mean, I think so far we've been pretty conservative with the prices. I do think Ridvan, because of the form he's been in and how highly rated he is in you know, Turkey as well, I think we'll get more than 6. And I think we'll get more, especially if a couple of teams are after, say, Butland. There'll be more than 15 because what you're hoping for is a bid more, aren't you? You're hoping for a bid more to start for these players and then, you know, sky's the limit sort of idea. Is there much point covering Borna? I think we know Borna's already agreed apparently terms with a club. He's gone. He's gone. Tatty bye. Thanks for your service. And I'm not. One thing I won't forget, guys, is the one day left foot he had. In first few seasons when he came in, I think I've not seen many a cultured left foot like that in a long time. I think his delivery was excellent. So thanks for the left foot, Borna. But it's the softest Croatian I've ever seen.
He's the nicest Croatian you've ever seen. He's, but we know all his faults. We've all spoken about his faults, but he did have a sweet left foot. He was not getting away for that.
Robert, Borna, any parting message?
thanks for your service, mate. It was a surprise buy from Osijek all those years ago. He's been a tremendous left back for us in terms of his contribution as assists, but time's up, and thanks for your service.
Yep. Shog, any nice words for Mr. Barisic?
Thanks for your services, but your time's up, mate, so you have to go.
Right, move on to midfield, and we'll go back to John Lundstram. Will he offer John Lundstram a contract, or do we cut our ties? I'm going to say, take we go. I'd like to see another midfielder in there, more mobile. Albert.
Oh, let him go, mate. Definitely. For one main reason. I mean, I don't like him as a football player. I think he's too slow. He always has been too slow in my book. But the biggest reason I let him go is he chucks it. I've watched him chuck it at least 3 times in a Rangers shirt. Not allowed, mate. Just not allowed. Once was more than enough for me. When I seen him doing it, he just chucks it too easy, mate. And I think he chucked it at Parkhead the other weekend, mate. I think that's for that tackles of it. So no for me. Absolutely no for me. Go now. Even though he plays at in Saturday, and he can play a stormer on Saturday, and still say let him go.
Yeah. No, I think a lot of fans have seen that sort of side of him, mate. Throwing the towel in. And I think in a style of football that our manager wants to play, as you said, I think he slows the game down far too much. I think he's ponderous on the ball, he gets caught on the ball. And then, like I've said this loads of times, mate, that going hiding in between the centre halves, to me that's just covered into midfield. And I don't like that side of it either. Robert?
I need to admit, a few months ago, when the question was asked, I said I'd give him a contract because of his performances under Clement. But once the speculation was in the news that he was in talks about a contract, it was close, it never came to fruition. You saw a change in John Lundstram, and that's when he went back to, as Albert says, chucking it down in tools. So, again, another player who has done his time at Rangers and moves on, frees up a lot of wages, in my opinion, as well, mate. So, we can get a younger, brighter footballer in there. We might already have one with Diomande.
Shug?
Yeah, let him go. My big brother will be happy that I've said that anyway. But he doesn't want him either. So I'd let him go. If we can bring somebody else in who's a lot fitter and younger, let's go for that, because we need that. We need the energy in the midfield, especially if we're going to beat them next season.
I definitely. I think we massively need legs in midfield next year. I think that's why the profile I've looked at, like Diomande for talking sakes, right? Diomande as a profile, he's the age, he's young, fit, all his years ahead of him. We're never going to ask that question about him not running, because he's a profile that we've looked at long and well, and it's proven to be. It's looking it's going to be working out, the Diomande one. We were talking about Diomande, maybe we'll just discuss Diomande then. Definite keep. Just get the deal done, as far as I'm concerned, immediately. Albert?
6 million plus, but keep. You got a six. If you sign him, then get a 6 million offer from the next week. You've got to let him go. It's mad, but it's true, mate. That's just the model, isn't it? That's just the way it is.
Well, it's just, as I said, mate, me and you are always banging on about this model, and if it's going to work, it's got to work. If it has to work that way, it has to work that way. If you see him 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, as long as we made a profit, mate, you're right. The question's got to be asked. Robert?
You have success in this, I know. It's a difficult one.
Yeah. I think it's obviously it's that the deal's a obligation to buy, so he's definitely going to be part of the squad next year. But as Albert says, if somebody comes in for a bid, fair enough. But I reckon there's a lot more to come from Diomande. And as I said earlier in the show, he needs the right balance beside him in the middle of the park. And I think it will be within a 3, if I'm brutally honest. He's got a lot of ability, technically, but also fitness-wise, he looks like a player that could run for quite a lot of time, quite a couple of days, if I'm honest. I know he looked leggy past few games, but I think that's because he's doing a lot of work in a two-man midfield. Give him an extra ball in there, and he'll be a real talent for us.
I agree, mate. I think the wee man gets through a power of work, and I think he's overworked at times because, as you said, he's left in there alone a lot of times. And do you know what I've enjoyed watching about him as well? See, for a guy who just came to our club, he's pretty vocal. I've noticed he's pretty, he's demanding a lot for other players, and I've seen him get frustrated if the pass not quite got to other people are doing the job that they're supposed to be doing, and I like that side of him for a young player. So I've enjoyed Diamande. Shug, Diamande?
Yes, I'd love to keep Diamande, and I'd also like to see Conor Barron alongside him.
Right, okay. That's a name that's been linked, mate. I've seen that name being mentioned during the summer so far. And I think because on a free transfer, I don't think it's going to go away, mate. So just let's watch that one. Conor Barron for Aberdeen. Yep, I like him, mate. I like him. Ryan Jack, guys. I think it's a no-brainer. No, out of contract. Let him go. Albert?
Yep, I'm with you, mate. Let him go. His time's come and gone. I told you before, he's a Scotland player. He's not a Rangers player. He's a Scotland player.
you were going to say.
So he's interested in me, and he's actually got his wish. He's in the squad, isn't he?
I seen that. Do you know, the first person I thought of when I seen it, I was like, he'll be sitting, you inside. I knew it. Aye.
Anyway, that's my view on him.
It all season and just rolls up for Scotland there. Aye. Who pays his wages? Robert.
Exactly.
Ryan Jack.
See you later, Ryan Jack. Best of luck in the Euros.
Andy Felicia will be cussing us, guys. He loves Ryan Jack. Shug?
Let him go. If he can only turn up for Scotland and he doesn't want to play for Rangers, well, I'm sorry, you can go then, can you? Ta-ra.
And what's your thoughts on your brother's love for him?
Say that again?
What's your thoughts on your brother's love for Ryan Jack?
Well, that's his own choice. I mean, when he was fit, he's a good player, but
I agree.
And he did drive us forward. He was good, and but the trouble is he didn't play enough. So we can't have people like that anymore. We've got to have people that are going to take this club forward and start winning trophies. So
I agree. But I think at current climate we can't have any passengers. As much as I did think Ryan Jack improved our midfield, no doubt about it. Seen a lot of good games from him in Europe and domestically. Certainly a better team with him in it. But aye, take me go, Ryan Jack. Moving on. Try to think who else we've got. Raskin, Nico Raskin. I'm going to say keep. I love Raskin, but I can't help think there's something wrong between him and my manager, and I'm wondering it's because he's mates with Cantwell. Do you know what? Because I think our manager's not too keen on Cantwell, and because them two are best of buddies, I'm just wondering if maybe my mistake for Cantwell and the manager's roasted him. But I would love to keep the wee fella because I think he's, again, not seen the best of him when he first came to the club, and I seen that wee terrier-like attitude and stuck in the games, and I've always doubted his distribution, but there's times where I think he's not the long enough games and not a long enough run of games. We've not seen the best of Nico Raskin, but I do think he's a good player. Albert?
4 million plus, let him go. As simple as that, mate. He doesn't want to be at Rangers. He wants to be at Chelsea. So 4 million plus for me. I would say more for him if he's actually proved it at Rangers, but he's proved nothing at Rangers, mate. He's run about like headless chickens half the time. His distribution's woeful at times. So
aye.
If we get 4 million plus for him, I'd take it.
That Chelsea comment annoyed a lot of Bears, mate. That because I think we're all the same as you. I don't mind the ambition of it.
I don't mind that, but don't say right when you walk in the door and go, I'm here, but I don't want to be here. I want to be somewhere else. Well, that's off.
Aye, mate. Yeah, he should have made his name here first, mate. Shouldn't he have made your name here?
Exactly, mate. And then when he's going out his door, going, "What is ambition of mine to play for Chelsea?" If they come in to get him, after you've done it at Rangers, no, before you've even kicked a ball.
See, I don't mind the ambition. if any player joined Rangers and came in and said, eventually, one day, I want to be, then I like that, because that proves he's going to come here and give it his all. And to get that move, I don't mind that at all. I like that, in fact. Robert?
I'd keep. I get what you mean about the relationship that he's got with Cantwell. But I think he's had his injury concerns this season, and the fact that he's a Belgian under-21 player, Clement's Belgian, putting two and two together, I reckon that Clement could develop Raskin into a really good footballer. We've seen he's got potential. Is he going to be that number 6 type of player? I don't think so. I think he's more that enforcer that you're looking for, Port, that he can be an aggressive one chasing the ball, but also for his national side, he plays almost more advanced as well. So there's potential there. And if we get that run of games, his value goes up. And then I think we cash in.
Shug, Nico Raskin?
I think I'd sell and hopefully get a right price and get somebody different in.
It's fair, mate. Right, I'm going to go with 2 number 10s next. First one, I'm going with Lawrence. I'm going to say sell Lawrence, because I just don't think, as much as I think I would hope he would stay injury free. Again, like I said earlier on, we can't have passengers. We can't have these players that are only showing up for a handful of games a season. So, and for that reason only, I'm going to say sell. Albert?
Sell. No legs. Sell. No good to us.
Robert?
Sell. Just unfortunate not seeing enough of him to have a more consistent stay in the team for me. Again, that's down to injuries, but we need to kind of cut our ties before we run out of players that go in a free.
Aye, I agree, mate. Shug?
Sell. No legs.
I think that's been pretty evident so far with some of the players we've picked, guys, in regards to, legs. I think it's clear the manager wants definitely teams to have, your team especially, need to have movement, legs, power, and pace in their team. So I think that's what's happening. I think that's why a lot of these players are probably going to fall by the wayside under Clement. Todd Cantwell, guys. I'm going to say keep, because I do think he's got that sort of maverick thing about him where he does that thing different, and I'd like to see him with a full pre-season under Clement just to see if we can further develop him. So I'm going to say keep. Albert?
7 million plus sell. He's not my type of player, mate. He is my type of player for spills and thrills. He's no Clement's type of player for the system he'd want to play. He's all about teamwork, mate. Teamwork. Cantwell's the sort of player that he's a maverick, but he's a maverick and it can hurt you. Can also get you win you games, but it can also hurt you, as he proved there against Hearts. You can do some lackadaisical things. No, I mean, he's not playing for the team in that position. Depends where you get him in the park. Depends what he's trying to do. If he's smart enough to play it, and he is smart enough to play the game right, but he's a lousy set to be closed down and get caught in possession too often, mate, that's no good to you. That just hurts you. But if he actually plays it right, moves the ball when he should move the ball, does his wee tricks and flicks in the right part of the field, he can be devastating at times. But again, he's one of the huffy type guys. I think he would be really difficult to manage and keep on a straight line, mate. So sell. If you get 7 million plus, sell, of course. Not just sell for the sake of sell.
Robert?
I'd keep him. Better players around him gets a better Todd Cantwell for me. He's a flair, creative player, and I think that's what we need to be back creativity. Yes, he has his moments, but I think it's a player that we could have another year at least, have better players around him, see the kind of likes of what he done last season. Not the highs, but certainly higher standard of what was this season of Cantwell, and we'll get the better of him.
Shug?
Personally, myself, I would sell and I would bring Lowry in his place.
Okay. That's so. I know a fair comment, mate. I think Alec Lowry deserves. I think another definitely deserves another look at him. I think he came into the team and we were all pretty excited about young Lowry, to be fair. But family things got in the road, and he had quite a devastating year last year with some news he received. So I think he's definitely worth another look at. Like I said, Cantwell, guys, if you're going to reinvest the money, isn't it? That's what it's all about. If we can reinvest the money in Cantwell and get somebody a better quality in, then
if we can get 7 million for Cantwell and Lowry's already there and he knows what the club's all about, well, it's up to him to knuckle down, is it no?
Yeah, definitely, mate. 100%. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Well, there you are, Port. I've made 42 million so far for the team for this revamp, this rebuild. So you're there, you 42 million. We've not even, and that's been us being conservative. We're not even trying yet.
Yeah.
So there's money there. There's money within the squad if you do it right. It's not just about getting out and getting free transfers. We've got money to spend on the right players. You can build a squad here, guys. A really good squad as well, and stick to the model and make it money. The ones that you're bringing in this time can make you even more money the next time.
Yeah. Hope James Bisgrove's not listening to be off with you, mate. Kieran Dowell, I'm just going to say sell, guys. I just don't think we've seen enough of him. I think we've seen sort of flashes, like the goal against Livingston and stuff. He's got a sweet left foot. But again, I think because he's that sort of 10, we've got, I agree with you, but I don't think in particular our manager likes a number 10. I don't think it fits the structure of his teams. I really don't. I think he's looking for somebody playing that role that could maybe get back and defend and stick to a formation and do a job going back the way as well. But I don't think Dowell, Lawrence or Cantwell do that particularly well. So I'm going to say sell.
Yeah.
Albert?
Sell, mate. Sell. Same for the same reasons, mate. Same,
yeah.
Just sell them.
My only stumbling block on it, Albert, is in Robert. So he's got 2 years left in his contract, so that might be a problem getting him out the door. And I believe he's on decent wages, I know. So that's probably the only stumbling block on that deal, getting him back out the door. Robert?
I'm going to keep Dibble. Good backup rotational player, natural left foot as well. And I don't think we've actually seen him play many games in his natural position or a position he's comfortable with. So I think there's work to be done in Dibble. So I'd keep him just as a backup for like kind of Scottish Cup games or games that you just bring on fresh legs.
Shug?
Sell for 2.5 million.
Okay. So, yep. Right, I'm going to join these two together. Because we're coming almost to the end of the show. I'm just going to wrap these up. Wright and Matondo, I'm going to say sell both. One, Wright, I don't think Wright is Rangers level. And Matondo, too many false dawns. I thought earlier on when I was doing this, keep him as an impact player, because I do think he's a decent impact player. It seems to be when he's at his best coming off the bench. But I keep saying it, we can't have passengers. I want a player that's going to give me, everything where he starts or where he is an impact player. I want something off him either way. Will you sell Bear, Wright and Matondo?
Both, sell both, mate. Sell both. Wright for any amount, Matondo for 3-4 plus. Take the money and run, mate. As you say, they're too unreliable. If you look at the last 5 players we've mentioned, Lawrence, Cantwell, Dowell, Wright, and Matondo, you can't rely on any of them. No. for various reasons. Lawrence, Dowell, Wright, and Matondo, for injuries and for knee legs with 3 of them. Matondo's got all the pace in the world but never uses it. And Cantwell is just Cantwell. No, I mean, he can be brilliant. He can be crap. He can be moody. He can be huffy. All this nonsense. No, so they're the 5 players right away. You can't build a team around 5 players like that.
No, because like I said, contribution is everything in it. And when you think over the season, what have they 5 contributed? You're not getting value for money, are you? You're not getting value for what you're paid and what their wages are. Definitely, Robert.
Sell Wright, keep Matondo. Our team lacks pace, mate. Matondo's got that in abundance. I just think he needs a good run of games, and we might see more flashes of what he can actually bring in a more consistent level.
Fair comment. Shug?
Sell right. Keep Montando.
Right, okay. And you same as Robert, is it because again pace? He's got pace to burn.
Because of his pace, but I think if we can bring Cortez in as well, if he gets Cortez, I would get rid of Montando as well and try and bring in another winger.
Yeah. Like obviously, we're loanees like Silva. He can go back wherever he came from. But I'm going to just mention a loanee that I think is a cracking impact to the season, and I would love to sign him. It'd be one of my first signings. So get rid of Silva, but keep Seema. I'd also keep Cortez as well, guys. So Albert, just a quick word about the loanee guys.
Yep, I did exactly what you said, mate. In that order, I'd make it a top priority if you sign Seema and Cortez, definitely. And you'll get Seema for right now between 5 and 7, and you can do it over 3 seasons as well. You don't have to outlay that large amount. Cortez, I'll get him on another 6 months to a year loan that we are obligation to buy to give the guy a chance and to give you a chance to give me money later on. But Silver, absolutely not, mate. Absolutely not. No. Yeah, the boy's got something. You know he's got something, but he's not showed it for us. He showed very, very slight glimpses now and again, but nah, he's no for us, mate. He's no for us.
Robert?
Same as yourself, mate. I'd love to see Seema and Cortez back permanently. I spoke about injection of pace the other day to have got that in abundance. Cortez is a modern day tricky winger, very direct. Seema's a goal threat as well, so I reckon they could be great assets. And it might actually change the formation. This 4-2-3-1 might become a 4-3-3 if we've got 2 natural wingers.
That's fair, mate. That's fair. Shug?
Yeah, I'd do the same. I'd keep Cortez and Seema and get rid of Silva.
Yeah.
Because I hope that we're actually going to play a 4-3-3 next season so that we can actually attack teams more. Because I think he wants his wingers. And I think when we get as wingers, if they stay fit, I think you'll see us as a better attacking force.
Yeah. I'm going to throw Sam Lammers. I think he'll be going. I think he'll be going back to the Dutch League, either with Utrecht or somebody else will come in and get him. Didn't work out, so we shake hands and we go on that one. The Kamar Roof, again, I went a free transfer. Shake hands and go. Showed me one of the best, that goal for the halfway line that night in Europe, one of the best goals I've ever seen in the Rangers shirt. So a lot of brilliance with Kamal Roof, but in my opinion with Kamal Roof, the thing with him is if he could keep himself fit and in shape, he'd be that's how good I think this guy is. He'd be playing in the Premier League. But unfortunately it's not worked out for him. Albert?
Absolutely, I mean, his football credentials are no question. It's his fitness and his strength is the problem. That is the problem. It's always been his problem, not just with us. We knew this when he came to us. It was not that something was new. To me, an utter waste of money. Completely and utterly wasted that money. Because his history pointed to what he was like. We get warned what he was like. Even the Leeds fans warned us what he was like. You'll get frustrated with him because he'll be never on the park. And he's 4 years later, he turned out exactly that. And we spent excess of 10 million, something like that on him. It was ridiculous, mate. Whatever much he's got, but it's ridiculous. Lammers should stay where he is, mate. Dutch football is what suits him. He should stay there. He's proved it twice now. And he's been to Germany, and he's been to Italy, and he's been to Scotland. He's probably been other places, but none of them suits him. He goes back to he goes back to Holland and starts banging in goals. So if I was him, I would tell me his agent, get me out of Rangers, get me back to Holland. And it doesn't have to be the team that can't afford him. Any team in Holland will do me. I don't care where he goes. But if he's any sense, he'll stay there in Holland.
I agree, mate. I agree. Robert?
I think Lammers is one that's quite close to leaving, to be honest, mate. I think that they're quite keen to get a deal done. And if we can recoup the money that we spent on him, then I suppose you look at it in a business sense, but not losing too much, if any. So shake hands, move on again for that one. And Roof, goals to games ratio is impressive, but that's down to his injuries. But as you said, mate, if we'd have fit Kamar Roof, then we would never have saw him in the Rangers jersey. He'd be somewhere else.
Shug?
Yeah, get rid of them both, like you say. If we can get money for Lamb as well, all well and good. And obviously Roof, well, we know the score with Roof, don't we? The bar of chocolate, so that's just the way it is.
Your brother said it for the day we signed him, mate. To be fair, Andy said it way, very, very start when we signed him. Aye, 100%.
Well, I've actually seen Roof play a couple of times for Leeds, actually, and he's a good player, but he's not got the body for Scottish football. That's a fact.
Yeah. Right, the last two.
And Dessers I'd keep for giggles.
That's what I'm coming to next. Dessers and Danilo, mate. I'm going to say keep Dessers. I think he scored enough goals this season. As much as it's been frustrating because he's probably still scored maybe another 10 and tap it. I think for goals to games ratio, he's done all right in his first season. And let's hope we get a further improvement out of him in the pre-season. And the same with Danilo. Keep Danilo. I think we see enough of that wee spell he hit as well, that he can be a tricky wee striker to have. So I'm going to say keep both. Albert?
Dessers, 2 million plus, I'd let it go. I would, honestly, mate, I would. And Danilo, I would let him go for 4 plus. I'd like to see Danilo, but I still don't think he's the answer what we need. But if we get 4 plus, mate, no, ta-ta for me. Again, all the ones that I'm saying sell is subject to buyers, and all the ones I'm saying let go are subject to buyers as well. the ones that are out of contract, every single one of them within the club, let go, mate. Bye, cheerio, goodbye. Unless they'll have whoever's got out of contract and plays on Saturday has a blinder, has come on and said he's threw them a lifeline, mate. Here's a wee lifeline for somebody if he's want to take it up. But anyway, I think we've done a good job tonight because we've made a few pound tonight.
Robert?
I keep both. You said it yourself with Danilo, he got a run of games where he looked sharp, he looked a bit of a different prospect to Dessers as a terms of a striker, different style, got a few horrible injuries. A good pre-season, I think he'll be almost like a new signing, if I'm honest. And then Dessers, he should have more goals than what he's got, mate, but he did score 20 plus goals a season, and if a striker does that, it's a good start. He'll get criticism, but I think he's actually done all right considering.
Shug?
Keep Danilo, get rid of Dessers. I think Danilo will come good. Dessers as well. No, I think he's seen what he is, so I think we can get better than him.
What I will say on Dessers, where I agree with you, Shug and Albert, it's like we were talking earlier on about not losing players for nothing. You know, and he isn't getting any younger. So if money does come in for him during the pre-season, during transfer window opens, I agree with me, he's let him go just to get money back into the club. Or we'll end up risk losing him for nothing, or you know, he's just value just so depreciate because he's getting to that over 30 age, you know what I mean? So I agree. Right, lads, that's us. I just thank you, Robert, Albert and Shug for calling in. I'd like to thank all the listeners. That's been a superb night. I enjoyed that thoroughly. Albert?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like to be on with Robert, Shug, yourself, and I like being through the players, mate. But I want overtime tonight. It's by 10 o'clock.
I'll email Ox. Ask him. Robert?
I enjoyed that show tonight, mate. It was good to make a few £1 million there off at Albert's accountancy. Looking forward to Saturday, mate. It's a massive game, and what is it? 2 sleeps to go. Battle fever commenced. Let's do it.
I agree. Shug?
Yeah, I've enjoyed tonight. Thanks for listening to me, and let's get the battle fever on, and let's get stuck into them and make sure that we bring the cup home this time.
I agree. All the very best to Rangers for the game at the weekend. Let's go and do this. The battle fever will probably start turning on in this household probably now tonight. Actually, I'm buzzing the new actually after this wee chat tonight. So I thank the techie team for their help tonight as well. And again, a special mention to the callers and my compadres, Robert and Obear, and all the listeners. Thanks for listening, guys. God bless tonight.